Well, hello, everybody. Well, this image is of a nice traditional lecture hall, and I wish we had that, and I was there in person with you. But next best thing, I'm going to make you some videos as we go through this class, and um, hopefully get to know you almost as well as I do my in-person students. So welcome to Web Design. I'm Dr. Becky Sue Parton, and I'm going to be your professor for this semester. And really thrilled to be teaching web design again. I I know I'm going to show my age, but I have been around since before the internet and been doing web design since the very beginning. In fact, I think I posted somewhere in your course about the fact that I had a nonprofit organization in the late 90s, the Sign Music Foundation, and back then, we had a little subdomain, you might call it. It was a page on the Fort Worth Star-Telegram's website, and we could send in, like, through the actual mail, a real image, a photo and description, and they would update that little page for us once a month. And I just thought that was incredible. The whole world knew about my little organization. And then fast forward a little bit into the early 2000s, I got my animal rescue group, Custody Critters. And then we, were able to start making our own web pages. And I got my very first domain name. And back then, Dreamweaver software, you've probably heard of that, is kind of the industry standard. It is the industry standard now. But back then, before it even existed, there was Microsoft Front Page. And that's what I made websites out of for years and years until they kind of went defunct and I moved to Dreamweaver. But so kind of been around to see all of the changes and the improvements and the different challenges with web design. And ultimately, I was just a programmer for a while at the University of North Texas, for 10 years. And the last couple years of that, I had the opportunity to kind of switch up and do 75% programming for one department, and 25% of my time I got to work for the Center for Media, Multimedia Production, and I was in charge of their web kind of back end. So at that point, I did the programming for the databases and then I would write the scripting code that would bring in information from those databases into the website using Cold Fusion and MySQL. We won't be doing that this term. If you come back for Web Design 2, we hopefully will. But, another great opportunity just to kind of see all aspects of web design. And so it's something that I really enjoy, and I hope that you will really enjoy by the end of this course. Opens a lot of doors for you in the workplace, even things that aren't a strict, like, you're not applying for a web design position, but there's still a lot of these skills will be useful in other areas. Even as a professor, when I build your Brightspace course, I can't tell you how many times I flip over from the regular design view over to the HTML code view and have to type there in order to do some specialized things. And so you're going to learn, I think, a lot in this class that's going to benefit you in a multitude of career paths. And I hope you're excited about it. I think that one of the kind of the neatest challenges in the last few years has just been being able to see web pages on different devices. And we'll talk a little bit about responsive design in this course. And so that's been a big deal. And all of the e-commerce that you see, and of course security has just increased. The need for security has increased so much more since I first started, and so we'll talk about that. We're going to get you a little free subdomain to use for this course so that you can see your projects out on the web. If you chose to share that address with anyone, other people could as well. So we'll be doing that, and then we'll talk a little bit about other professional avenues you can go. Another one of the things that I remember fondly was, back when I got that first domain name for my rescue group, and there was a little host service in Dallas. It was just a little tiny thing, and I didn't know anything about it, and they didn't know much more than I did about it, but I signed up with them, and fast forward like a decade later, and I remember calling for something to ask them about something, and I will never forget her response, because she looked it up and she couldn't figure out, like, who I was at first, because all they work with now are large corporations. And she finally figured out, she said, "Oh, you're a legacy customer." And I said, "Yes, I am." But I stayed with them until I had to graduate and turn my rescue group over to another person. But that process there of having a host, we'll talk about that. And there's so many options today, and nationwide options, not little local ones like I had, but lots of things that we'll cover in this class. So for right now, I don't want to make this introduction forever long. I just want you to know that I'm excited to get to know you. You're going to get as much out of this class as you're willing to put into it. I think that's true of pretty much every class, but it's especially true here. We have a great book. I really like it. If all you do is read it, skim it, whatever, you're not gonna learn web design, and you're not gonna get excited about web design, because web design is a hands-on skill. And so reading it and knowing the information, that's awesome, but putting it into practice and doing it, that's what really counts. So I encourage you, as you go through these weeks, this isn't something that you open up at 11:30, the night it's due, and try to just do the project. You might be able to churn something out, but you're not going to start internalizing all of those codes and the information and having time to experiment. So I just want to encourage you to take advantage of that hands-on approach. This is an all project-based course. There are no exams. I don't expect you to memorize all the HTML code. A lot of it will become second nature as you start using it, but it's not about memorizing it. It's about being able to use it. And so I have little kind of practice projects along the way, and then you'll have a semester project where you'll put it all together. And you'll see all that. Spend this week taking a look at the syllabus, and more importantly than that, the schedule, and then all the information I put in Brightspace, so that you can kind of see the flow of the course. I don't open it all up at once because I don't want you to be overwhelmed, and so you'll see certain weeks as they start to open. But go ahead and take a look at those, and just look at the general format, and get to spend some time doing that this week. Spend some time getting to know your classmates. It makes it a whole lot more enjoyable journey if we get to know each other, and you have somebody that you can touch base with if you have questions. I mean, you can always ask me, but sometimes it really helps to have another student be able to explain things and connect with, and send reminders and things like that. So be involved with your classmates, and I think that will really help. I've put some videos out there to kind of show you how the course works, and of course how you get your grade and everything. And so take a look at all of that. And I put one of your chapters out there for this week. It's more of a review type chapter about what is the World Wide Web, and this kind of information that I hope you've gleaned from some of your previous classes already in this program. But if not, it's there for you to review, so that we can jump in next week immediately and start coding and start doing some of the fun stuff. So if you have questions, please let me know. And don't be a stranger. If you're on campus, feel free to stop by my office, and actually we can meet in person and say hello. But I can also do video chats and all of that. Now, as far as personally about me, I'm not going to go through all of it in this video, because I have made you a PowerPoint, and so it's there in the instructor introduction information, and so I show you all my family, including my wonderful four-legged critter family, and all of that. And I talk a little bit more about my background. I've done a lot of research in augmented reality and different fields like that. So I will let you take a look at that PowerPoint to get more information there. And I'm excited to hear from y'all. And so enjoy this semester, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.